Okay, shalom, shalom, kum yashala, koholo yimla, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachaha, Dash, double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, led by the Spirit, taught us this beautiful truth. Just want to say the water to all you H.I.M and H.I.M that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability. This is Yachanan Nawah, just coming at you with another quick lesson and praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. Let me get the copyright disclaimer. This guy, Nate Friedman, he done a full documentary on Dearborn, Michigan, which is right up the street from me. Matter of fact, I pass this place that he's in front of a couple of times a day, every day damn near, but I know a couple of times a day throughout the week, because I drive for a living, you know what I'm saying, as far as my plantational job. And, basically these so-called white people, they're mad because of the takeover of these Arabs here in America. And this is one of the largest, if I'm not mistaken, it is the largest Arab community in all of America. And when I say you go out there, again, I can ride my bike down there. It's not that far. I jump in my car, I'm there in like 5-10 minutes, basically. And these are the people that's actually in our neighborhood that, run all the mechanic shops. They own all the banks. They own all the supermarkets. They own all the, anything that we have to do with. Mainly, these people lick the womb of so-called blacks the most in our neighborhood. Of course, you got Moab, so-called Chinese people, with their Chinese food restaurants. They got of course, the hair stores, beauty supply. And, you got the, them pretty much our main ones. These are the ones that really hunker down on us and send their children to, school to be lawyers and doctors. And, they drive in, Maserati trucks and Bentley SUVs. And you ride through this place, man. They doing well, they doing well. But these Edomites are pissed because they have their own enclave in America, and they don't like it because these people are doing far better than you so-called white people in America will ever do, especially right now anyway, because your own people don't care about you. When it comes to these people, they have a little more sticking together. They have their own bakeries, their own supermarkets, and they don't be fucking with this American shit like that because they got good shopping places, to go and get real good imported spices, they don't fuck with your GMO graded foods, man. So I'm gonna get the copyright disclaimer. We're gonna play the video and you'll see what I'm talking about here. So bear with me one sec here. Okay, copyright disclaimer. Under section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. So now, again, you so-called white people, you Americans, you allowed this. You Christians, you allowed these Muslims to come in and take over like this. Because, matter of fact, this particular city right here, back in the days, it was a sundown town. Because they had signs up, where they didn't want niggas in there, basically. And how these people end up coming in and taking over, I'm not sure. Probably, how America does. They allow a bunch of displaced people into the country. They give them a neighborhood or two, you know what I'm saying? They give them a nice swath of land, set them all up. And then as time goes on, see, these people have been here for quite some time. We can probably look it up. But they've been here, a few generations, man. They probably about 4 or 5, at least 4 or so generations, 5 generations. Got to be at least 4 generations in, where they really, they populate, they have children, and they keep low and take over like all these other, they're just invisible in America, so to speak, other than them doing what they're doing as far as, right now it's a big thing with the Muslim thing because of this guy, Saeed, which won this little primary bullshit. And that's a lot of, what he was asking one of this guy, he's interviewing this one guy on this guy, because these Arabs, man, they started to come up political wise, man, on you Edomites. But you're supposedly be a Christian country. You can't go to their country with this Christian shit, but you allow Buddhists, you allow Hinduism, you allow every damn religion in the world is here in America. So let's get the video. We'll just play the video, and we'll go from there.
Welcome to Dearborn. So we are the largest Islamic center in North America. Assalamu alaikum. Are you working here? Do you want Sayyad to win or Stevens?
Hezbollah don't cause trouble. They're just there to watch my store.
This is the Islamic takeover of Michigan. Welcome back to the Nate Friedman Show. I've come to Dearborn to see what it's really like here. It's an ordinary Wednesday, and if you had to do some work on the house and stop at Home Depot first, these are the signs you would see, each of them translated in Arabic. Next up, I wanted to speak to the people of Dearborn about the upcoming Senate race between Al-Sayyad and Stevens. Al-Sayyad is on track to become the first Muslim.
Okay, well, that's already over with. He already beat this lady. and you had to realize, too, see, this is just one city. Michigan is a big state. It was so-called white people that voted for this guy. Because you know why? Because they're tired of you so-called white people. They're tired of their own people fucking them over.
Senator in our country's history. He wants to abolish ICE, defund the police, and went on tour with Hassan Piker, who said America deserved 9/11. Which one do you prefer to win?
What do you think, bro? I'm Arabic. I'm Lebanese, right?
Yeah.
Stephen is pro-APEC.
Oh, is she?
Okay, of course she does. She gets money from APEC. And we don't like APEC. All the Arabs live here.
Right.
The mayor, he's Arab. The council's mostly Arab.
Yeah. And you're saying that is the case?
Personal friends of mine, the mayor of the council.
Do you think that when he becomes senator, that he should fight for a bill that makes prayer times, like that businesses must support prayer breaks? Would that be something that...
Most of them around here do.
They do already?
Yeah, they just close.
They close for prayer?
Right, close for prayer.
That's good.
And they go to prayer.
So why don't you Americans close for prayer? What about you Christians? You greedy ass capitalists. Why don't you close for prayer? How are these people outdoing you? These heathen outdoing you heathen. Why don't you close for prayer? He talking to this guy like that's a bad thing. Even though they're, praying to a damn heathen. I mean, idolatrous God. But at least they got a mindset of, let's stop and close things down for prayer. You Americans, you ain't doing nothing like that. You Christians, you came here, stole this land with the Bible, whipped everybody into shape with white Jesus. You're this Christian nation. And see, this is what these so-called white people, this is why a lot of these so-called white people are starting to rile up right now. These Christian nationalists, those ones that follow Trump. But guess what, though? Why you're not seeing ICE in these neighborhoods? Let's play some more. But why don't you see ICE rolling down on these people? They rolling around. ICE is rolling down on the people that believe in your white Jesus. The so-called brown people that you're talking about. They believe wholeheartedly in white Jesus. So why aren't you running these people down instead of them? Throwing them in concentration camps. And you better believe these people are armed to the T, just like you so-called white people are. You know why? Because they're Americans, and they can go and get guns. They got their own gun stores out there. They got everything that they need right there. They don't need you Edomites for shit. But you're the Christians. You allowed this. And again, you hate so-called blacks so bad that you place these people basically above us here. And we know that that's scriptural, you know what I'm saying? Because, matter of fact, let's get that curse. Let's get that curse, because this is a curse on the so-called blacks right here. Matter of fact, let me put it in like this, get straight to it. Deuteronomy 28:13. And the Lord shall make thee. That's if we were obedient. So if we were obedient, like how the Lord told us to be, if we had followed these laws, statutes, and commandments, and at times when we did, we were on top. But when we were disobedient, once you go see Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 44, Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 14 or 15, Salakia, it gives you all the blessings if we're obedient. From 15 on down to 68, that goes into the curses if you're disobedient. And here's one of the curses right here. Deuteronomy 28 and 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Because again, these people are in our neighborhood. They got their own banks and shit, out there in that area. Jake don't really venture out there and be dealing with them as far as like bank loans, but I guess maybe some of them do. But in the neighborhood, I can go right up the street right now. Matter of fact, the mechanic that I deal with, he's one of these people right here. And all these mechanic shops, if you were to pass their mechanic shops right now, they'll have a sign on the building. Basically, it's like a lender's or like a loan where, if you don't have the money right now to get your car fixed, we'll do it for you. And you can pay in installments, with an interest rate. So they getting down on us too. And we not tripping on this because you so-called white people set this up and they're doing better than you. And now there's this infighting. Now there's this pot that's boiling. You know what I'm saying? Where things is about to get hot, man. These people hating this right here. Because you just had this guy, Madami, he won the mayor run out in New York. And these Edomites really believe that there's about to be a takeover with these Arabs. And they doing good, I'm telling you. I see them all the time. I'm telling you, man. They'll buy a house, nice house. House may have 4, 5 bedrooms. Basement, a couple of baths in it. They would tear that house down and build their own fucking house on top of that shit. They'll scrape that shit out like, we don't want this old ass house. I'm talking about a nice house though. It's a nice house, nothing wrong with it. Something that if it were just one of us, we would be like, hell yeah, thank you, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. But they'll tear that bitch down and build up a mansion on that motherfucker, man. They build up their own shit from scratch. I've seen them do it over and over and over again as I pass through there. So let's play some more.
Yeah. And what about halal meat in schools? So
we have a lot of halal meat in schools now here in Dearborn, everywhere.
Yeah. Where do you stand on which government? Is it Hezbollah or is it something else? Like what's going on actually?
I'll tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Hezbollah only protects Lebanon. Yeah. If there's no Hezbollah, it's gone, Lebanon. Right. Israel will take it over. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing keeping them out. Yeah. Hezbollah don't cause trouble. Mm-hmm. They're just there to watch my store, let's just say. And if they come and start breaking down my store, we're going to have to do something. Yeah. And that's what Hezbollah does. Would you like to see United States allied with Hezbollah? Hell yeah. Oh, man. It was such a pleasure talking to you, man. Yeah, man.
Okay. And there you have it. Salakia. They've been fussing about this horn in the back because they have that prayer horn, every day. And you got so-called white people, that live in the area still, that haven't moved out. Because a lot of them, they kind of took flight as well. But a lot of them still live out there. But, and there were a lot of those racists that were racist against so-called blacks, man. But, they have this prayer horn going. And that bitch loud as hell. Because you can damn near hear it over here to where I'm at. And I know I'm miles away. But, yeah, man, this is a beautiful thing, man. Let me get another of my favorite scripts. I bring this boy out all the time. Because we're witnessing the fall of our enemy, man. Here you go. You're in your own country. You so-called white people. And you're doing horrible. You have these people. And it's not just them. Another people that go under the radar. The so-called Chinese. They're doing good here. They go under the radar. Them motherfuckers is invisible. I see these motherfuckers at the job. Nobody even look at them. They be in groups. They be sitting in the cafeteria like 10, 15 to themselves, talking in their own language, eating with chopsticks and shit. Don't nobody even say nothing to them. But when it comes to you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, motherfuckers hate to see you group up. They see you group up, they calling the police. They're like, oh, something got to be going on with these, you know. But that's a part of those curses. Ecclesiasticus chapter 25, verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue, a man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. And our main, see, these people are our enemies too, but our main enemy is the so-called white race, Esau, Edom. And let's get into some of these comments. You're gonna see how pissed they are. It's 21,000 comments in this little short. 62,000 upvotes basically. People in here pissed. Check it out. It says knew it was bad, but not that bad. This is unacceptable. It's in the United States. Well, don't you have freedom of religion? Freedom of all this bullshit? Why be hypocrites now? You weren't expecting this, huh? But you motherfuckers don't even go to church. You don't get most of you motherfuckers is atheists. At least these people believe in something. You know? It says, thank you. That is the truth. Wake up, America, wake up. See? Somebody else says, shut that noise off. They don't want to hear that siren going off for prayer. I swear I shut that noise off one way or the other. See that? It says that guy probably paying them protection money for his shop. Well, they probably they probably sending money over there. But guess what? Y'all not checking where the money going. If they sending money over there to Hezbollah, you think ICE will be over there? You know, hey man, ain't no ICE men through there. A matter of fact, it was some dudes supposedly. That's been some months back. It was like some brothers or something like that. Like 2 or 3 guys in a house was supposedly something happened on a computer where they was, sending some messages back and forth. So ICE did come pick them dudes up, but they haven't been over there just, checking people, all at the Home Depot like how they do Issachar. They don't go up. You ain't seen none of that, man. They not fucking with them people. They don't go there, man. Because matter of fact, they live. This city right here is where Henry Ford is at. This building right here is maybe about a mile away from the famous Ford headquarters. A mile away, if that far. It's probably about a half a mile. That's back when Henry Ford was came up with so-called came up with the car, and that was all so-called white people at the time. Now they got a new headquarters out there. They just built a new building. Matter of fact, that they're still building on. But you got the the Henry Ford museum. You got his old house and all that shit. You can get on a train. It's like you pay a tour ticket, and it's pretty much the city of Dearborn. So at least they got the American flag up. They don't give a shit about your American flag though. Because if you notice, you seen in the beginning of the video, they had their flags up. And when I roll through the neighborhoods, because this is my route, I take that route every day, driving. And they got their flag up. Then you'll have some American got their flag up trying to compete. But it's mostly their flag flying. So it is what it is, man. Okay, this person says, this is crazy. They're here to take over. They're not here to assimilate to American ideas. No, well, why would they? Why would they try and be like an American? Why would, like I said, these are heathen too, but they living better than you Americans. You Americans are complete savages. You call these people savages though. Somebody says disgusting. They need to be removed immediately. Somebody says send them all home as soon as possible, please. I ain't seen a welcome yet. Oh, you're not welcoming? Why aren't you Americans welcoming? Says this is an invasion, a modern day Trojan horse. Wake up, America. Says 50 years. This person says 50 years ago, Lebanon was a Christian majority country. Let that sink in. Yeah, they don't believe in your white Jesus no more. Says noise ordinance needs to be enforced. Well, people been trying to, but hey, that's they doing their thing, man. Let me see here, Salakia. Oh fuck, I ain't trying to come out. It's gonna read a couple more, but you get the point. It says it should be a felony to fly the flag of another country anywhere in America. See? Is this how we respect veterans who sacrificed for us? So all you're seeing is a bunch of negative comments from Edomites. Somebody says pathetic. The local politicians are so afraid of hurting feelings that they'll kiss any ass. What is happening, people? Wake up, Dearborn. Wake up. Protect the USA. No, America's through. And you know what's crazy too? You're fussing about these people, but why aren't you fussing about the isn't real people? Because they in here just like that too. They in here with their own thing going. Why aren't you fussing about them? These people right here not doing nothing no different than what Israel is doing in America. They got their own communities. They got their own synagogues. They got their own shopping centers. They got their own. They speak in their own language. They have their language all over the buildings. So why aren't you fussing about them? I mean, I guess some of them do, so. But you Americans are cooked, man. It says deport now and pass the SAVE Act. These Trump supporters. The SAVE Act, is that voting bullshit. Yep. This needs to be stopped. Disgraceful. These people want nothing but our demise. What a disgrace to America. I'm a U.S. citizen from the Caribbean. Just a word for Americans. The enemy is no longer at your back door. It is now inside your house. Please pay attention. See? We don't have to read no further. You know what I'm saying? It's 21,000 comments in here. And these Edomites are losing their damn minds, man. And the Lord has got you on this stage. Because again, why aren't you being welcoming to these people? You allowed all these things to happen. Matter of fact, let's do this. I'll end out here. Let's see. Let's put it was Dearborn, Michigan. Ever racist towards blacks. And Jake just starting to go out there like now. Because I can remember back, when I was younger, because it's a mall. They got the mall, the closest mall in our area is in that city. Right up the street right here. Like I said, literally I can jump on my bike and be there in about 15 minutes. And we used to always go to the mall down there. But, it's kind of like right on the edge of Detroit and, slash their city. We didn't go no further into it. You know what I'm saying? We do our shopping and come the fuck back home. But there was a time, man, when you get pulled over out there, man, motherfuckers is doing you all kinds of dirty. Okay, it says, yes, for decades, Dearborn, Michigan had a powerful, well-documented history of systematic racism and racial segregation, primarily directed against African Americans. See that? From 1942, this guy, Orville Hubbard, the Orville Hubbard era, this guy. 1942 to 1978, the core of Dearborn's racist legacy is tied to his long-serving mayor, Orville L. Hubbard, who was elected to 15 consecutive terms. Segregationist policies. Hubbard was an open, unabashed segregationist who proudly campaigned to keep Dearborn a lily-white suburb. Oh, okay. Well, what's going on now? What happened? What happened, buddy? Separate from neighboring Detroit. His famous political slogan was, keep Dearborn clean. See? He feeling like if you niggas come in, and back then, Jake was all right. Jake was had some damn sense, at least a little bit. Jake wasn't what they are today. It says, which was widely understood as code for keeping the city white. In-person hostility. Hubbard openly stated his opposition to racial integration, claiming it would lead to a mongrel race and the end of civilization. Under his watch, black people attempting to move into or spend time in Dearborn faced extreme hostility, harassment, and physical intimidation by crowds or police. See that? Exclusionary ordinances. The city used municipal ordinances such as restricting public parks and recreational spaces exclusive to Dearborn residents to actively lock out black visitors from Detroit. And this is like I'm telling you, it's right there. I can walk there, man. You know what I'm saying? And be there in about 30 minutes. But on my bike, I can, especially in my car. Again, I can get in my car, and I'm down there in 5-10 minutes. But you know, we keep our side of the city. But guess what? They in our city, and they own all the shit. I can go from store to store to store. I can go up the street right now. No matter which way I go, north, south, east, and west, these motherfuckers is running all the businesses, right? So you so-called white people, hey, this is lovely. We love it because you reap what you've sown. Later legacies and controversies. Post-Hubbard tensions. Long after Hubbard left office in 1978, the city struggled to shake its reputation. And then, because I know they was fucking with Jake, man. In the 1980s and 1990s, controversies flared up over restrictive park rules, allegations of discriminatory policing, and local golf course management disputes. Shift of demographics and modern attacks. Over the decades, Dearborn transformed significantly and is now home to one of the largest Arab American and Muslim populations in the United States. Because of this unique demographic makeup, the city frequently becomes a target for outside right-wing provocateurs, Islamophobic rhetoric, and political grandstanding. See? Well, let's put in, how did the Arabs get in there? Let's do that. See? Because they didn't want you Jake in there. This is beautiful, man. Now we gotta stop them. This is a takeover. They're shutting down business for prayer. Oh man. It had to have been something probably with one of them wars back in the days. Let's see. How did they get in there? How did they start all of a sudden running the city? The primary reason Dearborn, Michigan developed such a massive Arab population is the historic boom of the American automotive industry, coupled with the phenomenon known as chain migration. See? The auto industry and the $5 a day draw, and a lot of Jakes was in on this too. It said that Jake made some money back then. It says the initial, they wasn't living there, they was living in Detroit. The initial wave of Arab immigrants, primarily Christian men, see, they came in here fronting like they was Christians. And all of a sudden, then they get here, and the plot twist, we're really Muslims. But just play like we're Christians. It says Christian men from Mount Lebanon in Syria arrived in the late 19th and early 20th century. They originally settled in Detroit. See, now they was able to come to Detroit. See? And nearby Highland Park to work at Henry Ford's groundbreaking assembly line factories. The economic magnet in 1914, Ford introduced the revolutionary $5 a day minimum wage. That was a lot of money back then, which was double the average industrial wage at the time. This massive economic incentive attracted immigrants from all over the world, including Palestine, Yemen, and Lebanese Shia Muslims. The move to Dearborn in the late 1920s, Henry Ford shifted operations and opened a massive Ford River Rouge complex in Dearborn. Thousands of Arab auto workers followed the jobs, moving down to Dearborn's South End neighborhood to live within walking distance of the plant. See, community building and religious infrastructure. Unlike other immigrant groups who moved away once they gained financial stability, Dearborn's Arab community stayed and built deep roots because they weren't being fucked with, going under the radar. See, and this is how all these nations ended up coming up above you Edomites too. Because see, you reap what you've sown. Because while you were so focused on us, your enemies was really coming up on you. Same thing with America right now, with what's going on with Iran and shit like that. That's the reason why America can't handle Iran right now. Because why? You was fucking with everybody else and you wasn't paying attention to your real enemies. Because we're no threat. Jake just get up and go to work, man. You taking taxes from us. We don't have no military might. But these people, they deep in Dearborn, man. And you and like I said again, you best believe they got weapons because they live in America. You don't think that they hitting the gunshot too? These motherfuckers got shit in their house just like you so-called white people do, if not more. Right? Let me get this scripture real quick. We can pretty much end out there. See, you Edomites, you're just reaping what you've sown. And it's a beautiful thing. We love it. I love it. This is so laughable. Galatians 6 and 7. Be not deceived. Yahweh is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So the very thing that you were sowing towards us so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you're also reaping now. You're You was trying to keep us down. And your enemies is right in the midst of you coming up. All your focus has been on us. You've been lasered in on Jake. And Jake ain't doing nothing but going to work. And even though, and Jake done came up too above y'all asses. Shit, a lot of Jake doing way better than you so-called white people. I ain't seen no Jakes at the Walmarts, man. You know what I'm saying? Living out of no damn RVs or no station wagons. It's you so-called white people. It's you that's falling off. And this is your country. You do have a right to be fussing and mad as you are, you know, because I would be too. Shit, but you're two-time losers. I'd be pissed too if I'm seeing other nations in some shit that our people so-called built, which you ain't built shit, and they coming up and they doing better than me. I can't send it, but see, the people that's really taking advantage of you is those isn't real people, where your tax money is going towards sending their kids to school for free, where your tax money is going towards housing them for free, where your tax money is going towards giving them medicines and having them with medical care for free and shit like that. So you're not mad at your real enemies. You've been propagandized into lasering, focusing on people that's got nothing to do with your up or down. We don't have nothing to do with your up or down. Jake just in this motherfucker just spending money stupid under these curses, man. Being taxed to death. But you lasered in. You got all this money Trump put into ICE. He's focused on you niggas that don't have shit. But they not focusing on these people right here. They're far more of a threat than we could ever be to you in America. But let me get this one too. Job 34 and 29. Oh shit, I'm in 29. Job 34 and 29. Yeah, it's good for y'all asses. We applaud it, man. I love it, baby. The Lord is beautiful, man. All praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Job 34 and 29. When he giveth quietness, who then can make trouble? And when he hideth his face, who then can behold him? Whether it be done against a nation or against a man only. So the Lord is dealing with you Edomites as a nation of people, man. And he's dealing with you individually as men in those nations, because you so-called white people, you are a nation of people. America, the continent of America, this is not a nation. This is a landmass. You as a people is a nation. Those Arabs as a people, they're a nation. Us so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we're a nation. Japanese, they're a nation. Chinese, they're a nation. Just because they're all here in this landmass and they're calling themselves, they're just citizens of America. They're not actually Americans. And they pulled a real number on you so-called white people, man. But that's the Lord, really. The Lord really done a real number on you people. You're surrounded by every side. You got your enemy right within your landmass. Here you go, you over here bombing the shit out of these people over there in Iran and all these different areas. But you got a whole community of these motherfuckers right here in your country prospering with all kinds of weapons. In your political system, fucking becoming mayors and governors and you know what I'm saying? So this is laughable, man. We laugh at you Edomites, man. You're so fucking stupid. But you lasered in on us though, didn't you? Did it help? Because Jake's still just niggas just hanging out on the corners. Still the niggas. Hey, Jake's still drinking 40s, man. Jake rolling up blunts, smoking blunts. Jake not doing shit but going to work, punching in, punching out, trying to pay for this high-ass gas and high-ass food, just like you so-called white people are. But guess what? You know who's not struggling? No people out there not struggling. And they got good markets, too. They got good markets. I'm going to stop through the... I went to this one. They just opened up a new... I gotta call it a market. I can't even say it's like a supermarket, but it's a supermarket. But man, that motherfucker got everything in that bitch. Everything. I'm talking about you really think that I'm talking about clean, fresh, organic to the core. All kinds of spices, all kinds of fruits and vegetables. They got their own butcher. You can go and get you some real... Hey, you can go through there and get you they'll do you a whole lamb. Matter of fact, our camp is not big enough for a whole lamb for Shabbat, but you can literally go in there, and really, that's one of them places where you can get a male. We wouldn't know if it's unblemished, you know what I'm saying? But you can go in there and get a male, a male lamb, man. Get you a whole leg, you can get a whole one, already dressed up and ready to throw on a damn grill or something. They doing it like that out there, man. They not selling these people bullshit, man. They not like you Edomites. They're not eating that ultra processed shit, man. See? But you fucking Edomites, you're so goddamn stupid. You really are. You gotta watch that movie Idiocracy, man. You Edomites are you're just dumb as hell, man. And it's proof that the Lord can place a base man over his creation. Because the scriptures talks about how, matter of fact, I'll end out with that. Because you are a base people. You're goofy as hell. Your enemy is right here prospering amongst you, coming up above you, and you worried about people that that's just not of just no importance, basically. Because we're just here, man. Really, in reality, we don't have nothing going. We definitely don't have no military pull. We don't have no political pull. We don't have no says or no talks in any kinds of talks in the world. We're just people that's enslaved, man. But you worried about us. But that's a part of those prophecies, though. Daniel, chapter 4, verse 17. This is beautiful, man. I love it. And you in the comment boards crying. And matter of fact, they're supposed to be having like a big damn, I'm trying to think when that shit is. It's supposed to be they had a rally out there. Some Christians, or some of these Edomites, went out there and was trying to rile up some stuff, and they're supposed to be having another one. I can look that up. Daniel 4 and 17, this matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the bases of men. So these are base people that's running the planet. You Edomites, you so-called white people, you're dumb as hell. I mean, hey, I just got to put it the way that it is. You're not smart people. The Lord, if it wasn't for the Lord, you wouldn't have the power that you have. If it was just physical, straight on physical, you'd have been stomped out and eradicated off the planet more than likely. Let me do this though, because I had asked that question. Let's do this. Slovakia. Oh shit! What happened? I'm just gonna put in, is there a rally soon? I've been seeing this in the news, where some Christian nationalists or whatever is supposed to be going out there trying to fuck with them people. And it's Esau. See, it's too late, man. You Edomites, man. Y'all doing too much. You've been, compromised already. Let me see if there's a rally coming up in Dearborn. It could have done already happened, but I know I heard about it. Okay, it says, yes, Dearborn is currently experiencing a major protest centered around the Henry Ford Centennial Library. The denomination promoted online as a Christian Crusader March is happening in tandem with the Dearborn City Council, Dearborn County meeting. Key details of the ongoing demonstration. So it's already happening. I've been seeing it on the news. I just didn't know. I'm just like, oh shit, another one. It is what it is. Because I know they've been trying to basically they've been giving warnings and all this stuff. Pretty much don't get violent. Because those Arabs, man, they'll put hands on you so-called white people. They'll put the flops on y'all asses, man. So it's been, because it's because Esau, he comes in pretty much like a vocab Malone. From the last one that I seen, they come in, they agitate, they try and rile shit up and they try and get shit going, and I will say that they had a lot of restraint the last time. So pretty much overall, they like, man, ignore these fucking crackers and let them come on in here and do what they're going to do. It's a free country, and don't get involved with them. If you can, stay at home and ignore the asses, basically. Okay, but it says the protest was catalyzed by far-right anti-Islamist activist Jake Lang. Lang reportedly interrupted a peaceful Muslim Arabian religious procession in Dearborn earlier in August while shouting, oh, that's probably the one that I was thinking about, while shouting anti-Muslim rhetoric. After a video circulated online of an ensuing physical altercation, Lang promoted this demonstration against the local government and police response. The situation on the ground, a large police presence, including the Michigan State Police, have been deployed to maintain order. Anti-Islam. So why are you going? You a Christian? Why don't you leave them people alone? They just got a little portion of land here. That's all. They just doing their thing. Why are you going there and fucking with them people? Why don't you go to your local church and y'all talk about sweet white baby Jesus, man? It says anti-Islam demonstrators have clashed with the local Muslim community counter-protesters, while organizers initially claimed up to 50,000 people would attend. The physical crowd has turned out to be significantly smaller, though physical scuffles and minor arrests have already been reported. Okay. I know I was seeing this. I had been seeing it for a few weeks. I didn't know when it was. So, hey, it is what it is, man. Hey, what you going out there fucking with them people for? Why don't you be a proud American? And why don't you be a welcoming American? Why don't you be American? Why don't you be a Christian? You know? Why you fucking with them people? You allow them people to come in here with their religion. You allow Buddhists to come here. You allow Hindus to come here. You see? But see, this is how goofy Esau is. And I guess they just didn't see it coming. They didn't see, and that's the same thing that's going to happen to them when it comes to the real Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. They don't even see that their destruction is nigh. And the Lord is just using all these other countries to really just rile up everything. That's all that it is, man. That's all that it is. They're about to, the Lord is really riling up all the enemies of his to come together and clash. And then the Lord is going to come through and ultimately clash with them. And it's about over with, man. So we about out of here, man. These tensions are riling up. It's a beautiful thing. And you Edomites are through, man. You're done. You're getting scraped right in your own country, man. So with that, I pray that the lesson was edifying. Kwam Yasha Allah and the Bible Ball.